Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard. I want to talk to you today about how to support your intestinal health and integrity according to your body type. One thing we know is that 95% of the serotonin that is produced in your body is stored and produced inside your intestinal tract. Only 5% is in your brain at any given time. So we know that when you're under a lot of stress, we process that stress through the intestinal tract. And then that stressed out intestinal tract can alter the microbiology. It sends message to the brain through the bidirectional gut-brain pathways. The brain sort of freaks out, gets this message that the war's on, life's an emergency, and sends emergency messages to every cell of the body. And this is the beginning of how the body begins to break down. So the quality, integrity of your intestinal tract is critically important. We're sort of hardwired to handle stress. You know, a bear chases us, we get up a tree, save our life, and then for the rest of the day and the rest of the year, perhaps, the war's over. We're not wired to handle stress every single day, 24/7 working, what we watch on TV. We're not sort of wired, and we overwhelm our intestinal skin, our intestinal level of awareness. And so we want to protect and support that. And each body type responds to this kind of stress in a different, unique way. Vata body types, who are governed by air, who are very, very sensitive, super high radar, feel everything. They feel it, and it processes through their intestinal skin. The intestinal skin, like the skin on the outside, only kind of flipped inside out, is extremely highly sensitive and is lined with microbes that feel everything. When you take the poop out of an anxious mouse and put it into a calm mouse, the calm mouse gets anxious. We know that the microbes directly affect mindset, mood, stability. So the quality of the intestinal skin determines the quality of the neurotransmitters that are produced, the ability to handle stress in a composed, calm way. The skin of the intestinal tract is like the three little bears. If it's too dry or too wet or too mucousy, it isn't just right, it doesn't work good. The microbes depend on the intestinal skin to be just right. Can't be too dry, can't be too wet. Vata stress causes the intestinal skin to become too dry, constipated, and the body can't move the waste out. And that causes the irritation and inflammation inside the intestinal tract. So the best strategy for that is to make sure you do vata balancing therapies for the intestinal skin. And this is directly linked to, of course, the nervous system, because vatas have super high radar, and what that intestinal irritation does is it actually affects their mental composure and calm. So those two are very directly related. Things like, we have a formula called slippery elm prebiotic formula, which is slippery elm, licorice, and marshmallow. It's a tea, you cook it down and make this decoction, this sort of medicinal slime to sort of coat, like that Pepto-Bismol commercial with this prebiotic slime to cover the whole thing and heal and repair the intestinal skin. A very, very powerful therapy for that. Also, triphala is very, very good, but I like combining triphala with a little bit of slippery elm and licorice, some slimy demulcent agents to, again, keep that vata balancing effect alive and well, along with a little bit of triphala, which has some tonifying benefits. Triphala also helps to increase bile flow. Bile is like a little bit of an intestinal scrub, and very important to help keep the toxins headed towards the toilet as opposed to being reabsorbed back into the body. So that's really, really important. Brahmi, Centella asiatica, one of my favorite herbs because it's really super good for the brain lymphatics, but also powerful medicine for healing and repairing the intestinal skin. And that, of course, supports the health of the microbiology and, of course, the ability for the intestinal skin to be repaired and for that to send good, healthy messages. Pitta body types, they have this issue with overwhelming amounts of stress, pushing themselves too hard, workaholics, go, 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 drive, 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 overly competitive, overly driven, and that can irritate the intestinal wall, cause reactive mucus production to the point where it actually loosens up the stool. And when the stools become too loose, then the excess mucus is produced in the stool. The little villi where the microbes live get flattened out, and you can't absorb good nutrition, nor can you detoxify as well as you would like to. So this is what happens with pitta body types. You get irritated. The intestinal mucosa gets so irritated that it produces a looser stool. So things we do to antidote the tendency for a looser stool, one of my favorite herbs is called amalaki. Amalaki will help to support the health integrity of the intestinal skin, sort of sop up that mucus. Another herb called bilwa bilwa, is in one of our formulas called elim number 2, which is triphala and bilwa, is slippery elm and licorice, sliming, healing, like we did with vata, a little bit of triphala to tonify, but also the bilwa to pull the mucus off the intestinal wall. That's very, very important, and also helps support a healthy stool as opposed to a looser stool, which is very important. And sometimes people get occasional heartburn with all this pitta because it can irritate and inflame the upper digestion as well. Amalaki is great for that. Brahmi is great for that. A formula that we have in our Cool Digest called Avipadakar, which has amalaki and other herbs that actually, in a really unique way, strengthen the digestive fire so we actually can cook the food as well, but also cool and repair and support the protection of the intestinal skin from getting irritated and inflamed by too much acid. So that's kind of really cool. Kapha types, big, easygoing, heavy set. Kapha types tend to be mellow, calm. They hold on to more water by nature. Doesn't mean that they're overweight by nature. It means that they're bigger and they're easygoing and they're calm. They're earth and water predominant, so they're mellow. They're hypometabolic, so they have to move their body. But as a result of the diets that we eat in America, which are a lot of comfort foods and heavy, hard to digest foods in a body type that's on a little bit on the heavy side, the intestinal mucosa can become excessive, and you end up with a lot of excess mucus in the stool. Not only does it cause potentially a little bit of a looser stool, but it also can constipate you in a kapha body type as well. But the real problem with that is it actually bogs down the intestinal villi and the intestinal mucosa and can congest the collecting ducts of the lymphatics that drive fats into the lymph for energy and vitality, so they can become tired and lethargic and heavy. We know these brain lymphs drain into that same lymphatic system, so they can become sort of boggy and heavy on every level. So we want to scrub those intestinal little collecting ducts and the intestinal villi the best we can. Things that are really great for that are, of course, things harvested in the springtime. Bitter roots and dandelions and turmeric is phenomenal. In Ayurveda, if you take turmeric and mix it with a little bit of black pepper, 16 parts to 1 part, you boost the absorption by like 2,000%. And that turmeric is an incredible scrub for the intestinal skin. All the bitter roots like the Oregon grape and golden seal, and in Ayurveda, picariza and barberry, and different herbs that sort of scrub the intestinal tract are really good for the pitta or for the kapha elimination. And also the formula with bilwa, the elim 2 with the triphala and the bilwa to help pull that mucus off the intestinal wall are really, really great strategies. And once you kind of get the intestinal skin sort of supported and healthy according to your body type, then you want to make sure that you sever the relationship of the stress plowing away through your intestinal tract, because that's how we feel stuff. So meditation, our 1-minute meditation, you can learn that for free. You can look into a more advanced meditation technique called our transformational awareness technique, where there's 6 meditations that you learn over a course of 6 weeks. That's powerful, but definitely meditate. That helps turn the nervous system volume down, so you don't feel like life is such an emergency. So that's really important, and even just simply doing the 1-minute meditation throughout the day is amazingly good and healthy for the intestinal wall. And then the rebooting of the microbiology. Once the skin is happy, you can reboot the microbiology, and I like to always start that with our slippery elm tea formula as a prebiotic. Then we have a product called Gut Revival, which has probiotics that actually knock out some of the bad bugs and start to repopulate with the good bugs. And then we hit it with a really powerful repopulation stable of microbes to really support kind of permanent residence of your gut. And then finally finish it up with another product called Flora Restore, which is a product that maintained for a month or 2. And the goal of all that is to get you on, repair, support, heal the intestinal skin, reboot the microbiology, and then get off of them so we're not taking probiotics for the rest of our life. That's the goal. And then you can use some herbal support seasonally to support the healthy intestinal skin based on the seasons. You can look at our free seasonal monthly eating guide that I put out every month called the 3-Season Diet Challenge, where we put out grocery lists, seasonal foods, recipes for every month of the year for free. You just get that downloaded and start eating some of the foods, organic of course, that are in season, because the soil has microbes that attach to certain foods that when you eat them in that season become your microbiome. And that changes from season to season to season to support a completely different functional microbiome for every season of the year. So critically important that we actually do that we actually get the bugs to change. and that's something you can do to protect your intestinal skin and reboot a new stable of new bugs every season based on the foods that you eat. Of course, they have to be organic and they have to be as fresh as possible. So thanks for listening. Please read the article about how to reboot your intestinal tract based on your body type and the article associated with this video at LifeSpa.com. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard. Hi, did you like this video? Do you like our content here at LifeSpa? You can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/John Douillard right here and get this valuable content every week in your inbox.
This recording is brought to you by LifeSpa, where ancient Ayurvedic wisdom meets modern science. Get access to free health video newsletters by Dr. John at LifeSpa.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.